Any person in this world who says that they don't want to get stronger is just simply lying to themselves. Whether you're a man, a woman, young or old, the days have changed where it's most important what you look like. It's now most important, what can you do? And as a society, we're moving to a really productive place where what you're able to accomplish with your body is now at the forefront of most of our brains. And I think this is a really healthy position to put out there for our youth, for our adolescents, for people getting into training. And if we can focus on what our bodies are capable of, that means that we are going to set ourselves up for objective success, which is very important because how you look might sometimes feel good, might sometimes feel bad, you might be bloated, or what you're capable of, that stays much more consistent. So I have people reaching out to me all the time. How do I get stronger? I want to set the under 21 deadlift world record. I want to set the over 50 masters powerlifting total wrapped record. And we create these categories in our head, and it's almost as though we create categories to start trying to find records that aren't at a world level, but now we could call it a world record. And everyone's got this idea that I want to get strong as quick as possible, which is amazing. That's not really the way to do it, but the ambition and the drive and the desire, the excitement, I'm here for all of it. So I want to talk a little bit about how you can increase your 1 rep max quickly. And the topics, generally speaking, to get stronger fast, we got to talk about tracking, consistency, patience, technique, and programming. If you hit those 5 things, you're going to be in a very strong spot to start to exploit what you're genetically capable of. And don't forget, all you can do is aspire to do whatever your parents have given you in terms of your body, your muscle insertions, your tendon insertions, your tendon stiffness, your muscle belly thickness, your height, your weight. All of those will be determinants of where you can get. So let's put this all in the context of you can only aspire to do what you are capable of doing. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to give you a mock 6-week progression into maxing out one of your lifts. We're going to cover that at the end, but first, let's talk about those 5 principles. Now, number 1 is tracking. This is something that virtually everyone in the fitness industry gets wrong, even up to the pro level, pro bodybuilders, some pro strongmen. We just lose the objectivity of what we should be doing. And you need to know exactly the weight that you did, all the way down to what kind of rest times are you using, what kind of warm-up sets did you do, how much total volume did you do? You have to track everything. And when I talk about that, the categories are exercises, sets, reps, load, and some level of perceived effort. You then have to track that week over week and have some appropriate progression for yourself so that you're not just trying to go in and max out every week. We should start blocks of training relatively easier and finish blocks of training relatively harder as we ramp up weight before we have a program deload. But tracking everything you're doing and 1 week after the next, doing the exact same exercises the exact same way, or increasing some type of variable. It could be time under tension, could be load, could be movement quality, could be reps, could be sets. Any of those things, increasing them in a reasonable manner is going to be a key for you to progress long term. Now, the next thing is consistency, and this goes hand in hand. You cannot miss workouts. It's as simple as that. If you try to go 2 weeks between maxing out a lift or say 2 weeks of progressions, then you go from what should be a 3% and 3% increase, and now we're at a 6% increase over 2 weeks, and you're now going to be a little bit out of touch with that movement. Your movement pattern is going to be stale, and you're going to run into issues. Now, it's not just consistency with your training and your workouts. It also has to be consistency with your sleep, with your life stress, with your nutrition. All of those things have to allow you to try to get the most out of your body. I've done several videos on that, but those 3 things have to be consistent. Now, you also have to consistently evaluate if you're pushing your body too hard. And oftentimes, when you are pushing your body too hard and those signs come up, this is a precursor to injuries. Now, that comes in and of itself, and in the consistency realm, if you get injured, you cannot be consistent. And staying healthy is one of the most important things to progress what your body is capable of in the long term when we're talking about any performance variable, especially when we're talking about strength. Now, the next thing is patience, and this is directly related to injuries, because if you're not patient, you're going to run into a situation where you're pushing your body past what it's ready for. Now, there's even a situation where your muscles are ready, but your tendons and ligaments are not ready. Tendons and ligaments, they do not have their own blood supply. They inherently adapt slower than our active tissue, than our muscle, meaning that our muscle can exceed the capacity of our tendons. You get impatient, you think you can do something, you feel like you could do something, and that's when something goes. So being patient and thinking a lot about long-term goals based on your genetics is going to be very, very important. Now, it's funny because being patient can get you stronger faster. A quick story, when I deadlifted 475 kilos, up to that point, the max I had ever deadlifted was 430, and I was aiming to set the national record at 435. Thought that 455 was going to be a home run. That felt fine, and that's the reason that I went up for an extra exhibition lift. I really didn't get anywhere close to that in training, but I followed the process, everything moved smooth in training, and then on competition day is the day that you can actually go and leave it all out on the floor. The next thing is your technique. In lifting, this is one of our most important things that we can improve. If you improve your technique quickly, this means that we're going to be moving more weight safer and more efficiently. And if we can do that, you're going to move more weight faster. And this is funny because it's not necessarily that you've got stronger, it's just that you've gotten better with the strength that you already have. In terms of resources for your technique, I have videos out there. I know Brian has videos out there. Lots of people have videos. And the thing is, there's going to be slightly different ways for you to do it based on how you're built. So I can't give you a perfect recipe unless I look at how you're moving and then we work off of that. But just know there's a fundamental normal, and you could be slightly outside of that, but you have to start at the normal and then experiment off of that. Learn how to use your body most effectively. The last bit is your programming. Now, programming is not your workouts. That's a small element of programming. Programming starts by saying, what does the whole year look like for me? And when do I want to peak certain performance variables? That could be certain times of the year where you want to be stronger or bigger or leaner. And in that, you then have to program blocks of training. Now, first, macro cycle, that's our year. Blocks of training, we're into mesocycles. And those mesocycles have to have defined, clear goals. And some might be to lose some weight, some might be to get strong, some might be to prepare for a competition, but we can't just plot ahead with the same goal all the time. This then boils down one step further into the actual workouts, into the exercises you're choosing, into the rep ranges that you're choosing, and that has to support your mesocycle within your macro cycle. So programming is much greater than what a lot of people give it credit for. Now, if you get those 5 things right, you should be able to improve your 1 rep max quickly. Let's put quickly in context. This means that you could increase, if you're a complete novice, over the course of 12 weeks, 20% increase in strength is reasonable. If you're an intermediate lifter, over 12 weeks, a 10% increase in strength is reasonable. But after that first year or two of lifting, if you're increasing a few percent every 12 weeks, you should consider that a resounding success, because we run into the principle of compounding interest. Just like with your money, your lifts will increase by a percentage, and you need to appreciate how fast that can add up and how fast 2, 3, 4% increases can turn you into a completely different person than you were before. Okay, so we are 6 weeks out from wanting to max out a certain lift. Let's just call it deadlift for now. You could replace that with anything that you'd like. 6 weeks out, we should be looking at being around 90% of our 1 rep max for a single. We're gonna have a few left in the tank. This is gonna feel good, and we're gonna do 4 sets of 1. 5 weeks out, we're gonna drop that to 3 sets of 1, but we're gonna go up to 93% of our 1 rep max. By the 3rd rep, the 3rd single, this is gonna start to get a little bit hard. Now we move to 4 weeks out, we're gonna stick with 3 by 1, but we're gonna go up to 95% of a 1 rep max. And this is where we're really gonna start to push the envelope of what your body is capable of. 3 weeks out, we're gonna do 2 by 1 at 97% of your 1 rep max. Of course, 1 rep max is an estimation of what you are going to be capable of. We're now 2 weeks out. This is gonna be your last heavy single. It's going to be 1 by 1 at 98 to 100% of your 1 rep max. Now, this is gonna be at the end of a very difficult period of training. So whatever you hit here, you should improve in 2 weeks' time, because 1 week out, all you're gonna do is go back to 4x1. You're gonna do that at 70%, lock in your technique, allow yourself to recover, and allow your body to get ready to pull a very heavy 1 rep max when you're 0 weeks out. If you're completely lost when it comes to programming, you're not sure what to do, of course, I have programs on my website. If all you have is gym equipment, go get the powerlifting peaking program, and that will work to solve the programming side of things. You can couple that with all the education we put out there on different movements, and then we've got 2 out of the 5. The other 3 just depend on you and your life. Now, I hope that helps you. Let me know, did I miss anything that you think is vital to improve your strength over a short period of time? Do you think that I'm a little bit too strict saying that you should take your time with it, or do you think that I'm on the mark? Leave a comment, and if you don't have anything to comment, please leave a moose dropping, just a period, down in the comment section. Let's get the algorithm working in our favor. I appreciate you guys very much. Take care. As per usual, lift heavy and be kind.